you want to have sex right now? Like, I wasn't even thinking about sex right now. So I feel caught off guard. I feel like I'm already behind in a sense. So it's very easy for me to give this knee jerk, like, oh no, like I'm not turned on right now. No, I don't want to. But I really want people to get used to the idea that we don't have to be turned on in order to initiate or to say yes to sex. But what we've started doing is like creating more space between that so that I don't get that pop quiz feeling. So oftentimes we'll talk about it in the morning. We'll say, hey, I would like to be intimate with you today. What does our schedule look like? What would be the best time for that to happen? If one person has way more on their plate than the other, like, hey, can I take this off your plate? Maybe we can collaborate on this. Maybe we can push that off till tomorrow. So we're kind of like working together as a team to figure out when's the best time and the best way for us to be intimate. So it makes it feel like it's a collaboration. It's not one person like putting themselves out there being really vulnerable. It's both of us saying, hey, this is important to us. We want to make sure there's time for us in this crazy busy day. So that has felt so nice for us lately. I think it's a great tip for a lot of couples to try out.
All right. All right. I mean, how much sex should we be having?
That's the age-old question, right? So there really truly is no perfect answer. Like every couple is so unique. And I know this is a very unsatisfying answer. Like we all want to hear this magic number. I think a lot of us have a lot of anxiety about our sex life. Like, am I having enough? Are we normal? And so we want something like simple and concrete, like a number. Just tell me the number and we can do it. But here's what happens. Like, let's say I say 3 times a week is the perfect amount of time. If you're pushing yourselves to have sex just to hit a quota, it's probably not going to be very good sex. And there's a huge connection between our enjoyment of sex and our desire for it. If we are not enjoying the sex we're having, we're not going to desire it. It doesn't make any sense to. So trying to just hit that quota really doesn't work. So it really is very unique.
What do you mean? Who doesn't enjoy having sex?
Oh, Sean, so many people.
What?
And mostly women. There are so many women out there who are not enjoying the sex that they're having. And I'll tell you why. It's not any fault of men. It's not any fault of any of ours. But the way that we are taught to have sex heavily prioritizes male pleasure. So I'll go into the full like science geek out on you here. What's happening when we have intercourse is not the most pleasurable activity for women. We've actually polled our audience before. We have over 1 million people in our community on Instagram. And we asked women, is intercourse the most pleasurable activity for you? I want you to guess what percentage of women said, yes, it is. Intercourse is the most pleasurable activity for me.
Well, you said it's not very many. I'll say.
I know. I set you up a little bit.
40%.
9.
Wait, what? 9%?
9% of women
enjoy sexual intercourse.
Say that intercourse is the most pleasurable activity for them.
No kidding.
9%.
All right. What's the most
here's why. It's because when we're having intercourse, we're getting stimulation in our vagina. And our vaginas do not have very many nerve endings in them. Like, think about how intense childbirth is. If we had even more nerve endings there, that would not be a good thing. So we're getting stimulation of a part of our body that just is hardwired not to feel a ton of sensation. The most sensitive part of our body as women is the clitoris. So the clitoris is this incredible organ. It's the only organ in the entire human body that exists solely for the purpose of pleasure. The penis has reproductive functions. The clitoris is just purely for pleasure. The clitoris has about 8,000 to 10,000 nerve endings in it. And compare that to the penis has 2,000 to 3,000. So we have way more nerve endings, way more sensitivity. And this is where I can science geek out on you. Like when we are fetuses in the womb, we all start off essentially with no gender. And then around 11 weeks or so, that's when we start to differentiate into male or female. So the analogy I always give is like, imagine a ball of clay. So I could take a ball of clay and I could form it into a mug, or I could take that same ball of clay and I could form it into a plate. So it's the same ball of clay that I'm starting with. I'm just making different shapes out of it, right? Mm-hmm. So the same tissues that make the penis make the clitoris. Same tissues, they're just turned into different shapes, right? So the problem is when we're having intercourse, we're not getting clitoral stimulation. So we're not getting the most sensitive part of our body stimulated. So the comparison that I always like to make is that intercourse for a woman, from a nerve ending standpoint, it's like playing with a man's balls. Like, that might be fun. That might feel good, but is it going to be enough stimulation for you to have an orgasm? Definitely not. Right. But that's what we're doing to women, is we're stimulating this part of our body that's not really designed to feel a lot of pleasure. And then so many of us women are feeling like something's wrong with us or broken with us for not enjoying intercourse.
Well, hold on. What about the G-spot?
The G-spot's a really interesting thing. So there actually isn't consensus in the sex therapy field about whether or not the G-spot actually exists. So what we do know is it's not really a spot in the sense of like a button that you just press.
It's a zone.
Yeah, there's a zone. There's a network of tissues that are there. And what they are around is the legs of the clitoris. So most of us think of the clitoris as just like the little button, but it actually extends up into the body. It's like a wishbone shape, exactly like a wishbone shape. So the legs of it are called the crura. And around the edge of the bottom of the legs, that's where the G-spot area is. So when you're stimulating the G-spot from inside the vagina, you're stimulating the clitoris. It's still the clitoris. You're just going through the walls of tissue and muscle in the vagina.
Gotcha.
So it's still the clitoris.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So how do women like to be pleasured if it's not through intercourse?
With hands and mouths tend to be way more successful at helping her reach orgasm. So you're going to be a lot more successful that way. But that doesn't mean that intercourse can't be enjoyable, can't be intimate. And you can also add clitoral stimulation. You use your hand. She uses her own hand. You could use a toy. But you have to make sure there's some sort of clitoral stimulation happening. So I tell men, like, imagine, you have to think of the clitoris as the penis. And imagine, like, if you're having sex, but you're getting no stimulation of your penis, you're not going to enjoy it, right? So we need to treat the clitoris in the exact same way because it's the same tissues, it's the same organ, the same purpose there. We need to make sure the clitoris is always invited to the party.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.